so we are in the desert. Numbers chapter 16. Before I teach, let's say the prayer. The pictures. Ready?
Yes.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan et kol malachah la'amod Yisrael b'chad liot, v'kol ha'devarim shebashamayim. Blessed are you, Lord our God, and blessing thing who has given all of his ways to his people Israel, as pictures of all things heavenly. This is an incredibly deep and important prayer. This is a summation of everything that the body of Messiah was. Everything. Also, the bottom line of everything that Israel was. All right, so we are going to Bamidbar 16. The name of the teaching is Pride, Jealousy, and Blood. Now, this is not anything like what the Christians usually teach about Korah. And the reason is there's only one verse in the New Testament about Korah. It's in Jude, the second to the last book in the Bible, verse 11. Verse 10 says, "But these men revile." Revile means like kasam, hate. Revile the things that they don't understand, and the things that they know just by instinct, like unreasoning animals. By these things they are destroyed. Woe to them, because they've gone the way of Cain. Now Cain, or Cain, is going to come up in this teaching. It's a very big part of the teaching, Cain. It's a bad thing. That they call the Derech, the way of Cain, and for money, they rushed headlong into the error of Balaam. Balaam is next week's Torah portion. And perished in the rebellion of Korah. So, for the most part, when you're listening to teaching by believers, for the most part, when they talk about it as rebellion. When they talk about Korah, they just kind of instantly talk about rebellion. And then it turns into a whole thing about congregation and make sure you don't have any rebellion in your heart and don't listen to people saying bad things about religion and stuff like that. Which is all good, it's all right. It's good things. But it's not what the scriptures say primarily about Korah. This is a huge story. It's a long, long, long narrative. And there's only one tiny little verse in the New Testament about it. And that's by God's plan. The reason is, listen carefully, the reason is Christianity was never supposed to split from Judaism. So if you go to the services every week and you read the Torah portion every week, you know all about Torah. You don't need the New Testament to explain to you, right? If you're in the ball game, you don't have to go to a soccer game and try to figure out the rules of the game. You already got it. You got it right there. You got the coach, you got the rules, everything's laid out for you. And so it's very important that you do not, that believers do not go to that one tiny verse they want to talk about Torah. Because it just talks about rebellion. But that wasn't even the problem. That was the result.
Right.
What we're going to talk about is the problem. And like I said, I listened to close to 12 teachings in Judaism about Torah. They all say the same thing in various different ways. So here's chapter 16, the part that we want to focus on right now. And took Korah. In Hebrew, it's Vayikach Korah. And it's a violent word. It means to take, to grab. And took Korah, and Korah took, Korah ben Ishar, ben Kahat, ben Levi, with Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, and On ben Pele, So Korach took, along with Datan and Aviram and On. What did they take? So this is just these two words. But Korach, this, I heard rabbis teach on this for hours. Just these two words. Because these are the most important words in the Torah portion, because they start the Torah portion, they tell everything about the whole problem. And Korach took for himself, along with Aviram and On, sons of Reuben, and they stood before Moshe, together with some of the sons of Israel, 250 not insignificant slugs, leaders. 250 leaders of Israel. And they stood before Moshe, together with some of the sons of Israel, 250 leaders of the congregation, chosen in the assembly, men of renown. These are big guys. And yet, they went along with Korach and Datan and Aviram and On. They assembled together against Moshe and Aaron and said to them, "You've gone far enough." Now, what I want to talk about first is this. It says he took. This is not good Hebrew. It's not good Hebrew. You can't take people unless you enslave them, like you go to a nation and you physically grab people. So it shouldn't say took. It should say assemble. It should say call together. It should say summon. It should say called to, called out to. A bunch of different words in Hebrew that could have been used here, but it doesn't say that. It says took. So that's the first thing. The second thing, number two, look at his genealogy. Korah. Ben Ishar, Ben Kahat. Who's Kahat? That's the one from whom all the priests come. So he's in the family of the priesthood. But you're going to see later that he wants the priesthood. That's what he got. What's he doing? It doesn't even make any sense. Along with Dr. Aviram, here's the third thing. Korach isn't the problem. Korach was a righteous man who made a mistake. Dr. Aviram was the problem. There are many midrashim that talk about Dr. Aviram. And it brings up all these verses in the Torah, like men came and attacked Moshe. Men said to Aaron, what are you doing? You shouldn't be going before Pharaoh. And verses like that. And every time it says, who are these men? Datan and Aviram. These are the troublemakers. These are the problems. But Korach became the head of this whole thing. Why? Because he's the son of Ishar and Kahat. This is a big event. I'll show you later the genealogy that shows what an important guy this was. So what Datan and Aviram could not do, because they were from Reuben, Korach didn't do. There's the fourth thing. Korach, like today, even today in Israel, they say, may he become as rich as Korah. Or, that guy, he's as rich as Korah. That's an idiom that even today they say, because he was a billionaire. He was a billionaire, he was like Bill Gates. And where did he get his money from? From Joseph, who had all the money literally all the money in the world. That's what it says in Genesis. That he gathered all the money in the world. This doesn't necessarily mean gold and silver. It does mean gold and silver. But it's not only gold and silver. It's jewels, gems, furniture, stuff. It's all the money in the world that people brought so that they could get food. Joseph had that in his storehouses, but he buried them. And in the Midrashim it says that Korach found them. Like with the treasure map. There was a map. He went and found it. I don't know if this is true, but I do know that even today in Israel, amongst Jewish people, they say may he become or he's as rich as Korah. Because this guy had everything. And yet, he was jealous. That's what we're going to talk about. Jealousy was the thing that caused the rebellion. All right. Let's go. Where are we? Assembled together against Moshe and Aaron. Let's see. And said that you have gone far enough. Right? For all the congregation are holy. Is that true? All the congregation is holy. Is that true?
No.
Yeah. Exodus 19, God said it.
Okay.
You are all holy. You are kadosh. You are an am kadosh. But glory kadosh. You are a holy nation and a kingdom of priests. In Exodus 19, God is for. So far, he hasn't really said anything that's not true, but he's saying it in a way that's disgusting. You've gone far enough. We're all holy. Everybody in the congregation is holy. And don't let that shut you up, Rabbi. I love that you're giving feedback. I've heard every one of them. And the Lord is in their midst. That's true. God said that. So why do you exalt yourself above the assembly of the Lord? Now he's lost his mind. Korah has lost his mind. He's wrong. I'm going to show you why. When Moshe heard it, he fell on his face. And he then spoke to Korah. And all of his, look what it says in Hebrew, congregation. Congregation. That's what it says in Hebrew. So basically, Korah started his own church.
Right.
It was a church of hate, causeless hatred, and jealousy.
Rebellion.
Eventually, rebellion. The whole congregation, all of his congregation, saying, tomorrow morning the Lord will make known who is holy, and will bring near to himself. Do this, take fire pans for yourself. Now, in the book of Revelation, we're going to come across this. In the book of Revelation, it calls them bowls or vials, depending on the translation. These are the fire pans, the hot oak that I taught about last year. I'm not going to look at that this week, right? Take fire pans for yourself, Korah, and your whole congregation, and put fire in them, and place incense on them before the face of the Lord tomorrow. The man who the Lord chooses is the one who is holy. The one who's holy, I thought God said all of Israel was holy.
Right.
But now Moshe is saying, nope, not anymore. The one that God chooses is holy. This is bad. Because God said all of Israel is holy. And now Moses is saying, no, it's not like that anymore. God's going to show you who's holy. You have gone far enough, you sons of Levi. Then Moshe said to Korah, listen now, you sons of Levi, is it too small for you that the Lord God of Israel has singled you out? God singled out Levi to be the Levites. Remember, I love the fact that I know, hey, who was that, Merari or Gershon? Remember?
Oh. I forgot.
Gershon or Merari? Merari is the mother desk. And Gershon took care of all the fabrics, the tabernacle, and all the covering. So that's the Levites. And God singled them out to serve the congregation and serve the tabernacle. So he says, listen now, is it too small a thing for you? If the God of Israel is trying to single you out from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself, to perform the service of the Mishkan, the tabernacle, and to stand before the congregation and minister to them. And that he's brought you near with all of your brothers, sons of Levi. That's not enough. That's not enough. But you are seeking. Look at this. This is weird. Third to the last line from the bottom. But are you seeking the priesthood as well? Kahat gave us the priests. Every priest was from Kahat.
Right.
Korach is from Ishar, son of Kahat. What's he's already got the priesthood.
Yeah.
So what does he want?
Don't know.
A high priesthood.
Oh.
He wants to be the high lucky one. He wants to be Aaron. He wants to be Aaron.
Yeah.
And the other guys who gathered to it, the 250, a bunch of them were Levites. And they didn't want to be Levites, they wanted to be Kohanim, priests. Because God said, you are going to have a holy nation and a kingdom of priests, right? All they're doing is saying, hey, remember God said that at Mount Sinai a year ago? But things have changed. We'll talk about that. But you're seeking the priesthood as well. Therefore, you and your whole congregation, he has said it now 3 times, your congregation. You and your congregation are the ones gathered together against the Lord. But as for Aaron, what's he that you're complaining against him? What is he? He did nothing. So the 2 tribes who gathered together, and this is important, the 2 tribes who gathered together against Moshe were Levi and who else? Reuben, Datan, and Abiram from the tribe of Reuben, and a whole bunch of their elders. So if you look on the map, you can see that on the south side of the camp is Kahat, and look who's right next to Kahat, Reuben. Proximity was a big problem. This is like MS-13. This is like games. Hey, we're on the south side. Yeah. We're on the south side. Kahat and Reuben are from the south side. And they got together just because they were close to each other. And they started all these problems. This is important. It's the last thing we're going to talk about today. Parashat Korach Ben Ishar, Ben Kahat, Ben Levi, with Datan and Abiram, son of Eliab, and On Ben Pelet, son of Reuben. Now you never hear about On Ben Pelet ever again in the Bible, because he was saved. You know why he was saved? Because he had a good wife. With Haman's wife said, yeah, go get those Jews. And he ended up being hung, right? In fact, she told him to go build a gallows.
Yeah.
75 feet tall. It was her idea. And so he said, yeah, I like that idea. Hey Mordecai. And so he ended up being hung. But in the case of Korach, he had a different wife from Korach's wife. Korach's wife was like Haman's wife. She said, yeah, that Moses, that Aaron, you need to do this. Let's go get all these people. Let's go get Reuben. I know a whole bunch of them. They live right across the way there. I'll go get them. We'll take care of this. He did. But On Ben Pelet, this is what it says in the Midrash, I don't know if it's true. It says that On Ben Pelet's wife, like a good wife, said, you're an idiot. What you're doing is stupid. You need to stop in your tracks. And when they all came to the tent to get him, she uncovered her hair, which a Jewish wife was supposedly not supposed to do. She uncovered her hair, she let her hair hang down, and she came to the doorway, and they all were like, we're not going in there, and they backed off. And so it saved On Ben Pelet's life. I don't know if it's true, but I know this. We never hear about him ever again in the Bible. So I believe the right picture is was said because of his wife. Be that as it may, Reuben and Kahat were in cahoots together because of proximity. Now let's look at this part of the story. I just cannot believe the chutzpah, the arrogance of Kahat. Moses said to Korach, listen now, you son of a buddy, is too small a thing for you that God is going to single you out from the congregation. to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord. And I'm saying like this because this is how I think Moses said it. I don't think he was mad. I'm going to tell you why in a few minutes. I don't think he was mad. He singled you out to do the service of the tabernacle, and to stand before the congregation and minister to them. And he's brought you near. He brought you and your brothers near. The sons of Levi with you. But you are seeking the priesthood too? He's already got the priesthood. What are you doing? It's kind of like, please don't run with this, okay? I'm only saying this because it's an example that you can understand. It's like talking to a dyed-in-the-wool liberal Democrat in America these days.
Yeah.
That you can give facts and clarity and reality, and it's just like, it's just nobody home sometimes. And I'm only saying that, and I'm not casting aspersions, I'm just saying that you can understand that. That's what, he's lost his mind. There's just nobody there to talk to. You've got the priesthood, dummy. What are you doing? Therefore, you and your whole congregation are the ones gathered together against the Lord. But as for Aaron, what is he that you're complaining? Then Moses sent a summons to got them up. Now here comes the problem. See, he's talking to Korach here. And Korach was a righteous man. He was rich. He knew the Torah backward. Well, there wasn't a Torah yet, but what there was of the Torah, the pictures, he knew them perfectly. And he was a righteous man. But somehow his mind got twisted because of jealousy. And he's lost his mind. But now Moshe sends the summons to Dathan and Abiram, who were not righteous men. And now the trouble starts. And now Moses gets angry. He sends a summons to Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, but they said, we're not going to come up. Isn't it enough? Look at this. I mean, the chutzpah is just unbelievable. Is it not enough that you have brought us up out of a land flowing with milk and honey? Egypt, a land where they beat your children to death in front of you with truncheons and the capos, the Jewish policemen who helped the Nazis, are doing it also. That's a land flowing with milk and honey, your torture and your death and your murder. Egypt is just like Nazi Germany. A perfect parallel. And he says, you brought us out of Germany, a land flowing with milk and honey, to die in the desert. It's unbelievable. But you would also appoint yourself as master over us. Did Moses appoint himself master over Israel?
No.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I thought God did.
Say it again.
I thought God did.
Of course God did. But it says in Acts chapter 7 that Moses thought that Israel knew that he was going to lead them out of Egypt. And that's why he went back. And he said, I'm here as your leader. He did appoint himself, but only because God had already done it. And so, yeah, God did, of course. But Moses did say, hey, I am your leader. But he didn't do it in like Korach did. I'm the leader.
Right.
I need everybody to follow me. He thought they got it. He thought they understood. And God was redeeming them from him. It says in Acts 7. Yeah.
But wouldn't that be more like Moses knew what his role was? Not to
Yes, of course Moses knew what the role was. Sure. But Moses appointed himself as, I know you don't like the word, but it's true. Moses, because he knew what his role was, appointed, set up, like set in concrete his role as the Redeemer. And he thought that they understood. They didn't understand. So yes, of course God did this. They don't say God, they say, you put yourself as master over us.
Right.
Indeed, You haven't brought us into a land full of milk and honey. I thought that God said they weren't going to go into a land full of milk and honey last week. Right? Right?
Yeah.
Why did he say last week they weren't going into the land full of milk and honey? Because they came back from the, quote, spies, the tourists, with a bad report, Lashon Hara, about the land. Moses didn't do that. They did that. And now they're accusing Moses. Nor have you given us an inheritance of fields of vineyard. Look to yourself. You did that. Would you gouge out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. All right, now let's look at Korah. Here's the genealogy. We looked at this back in the second, no, first Korah portion, then we the first Korah portion of Numbers, when God set up the tribes. He said what the job of Levi was. So here's Levi on top. He has 3 boys, Gershon, Merari, and Kahat. Kahat has 4 boys. And these are the priests. Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziah. These are the families of the priests. Now, Amram married Jochebed and had Aaron, Miriam, and Moses. And Aaron is the high priest. All of his children are the priests after that, and the high priest after that. But look at Korah. Look whose son he is. Izhar, son of Kahat, son of Levi. He's already in the club. He doesn't have to fight for position. He's already in the club.
Right.
But his second born is Izhar, right? Amram, Izhar, Hebron, Uzziah. Firstborn is Amram, gave Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, high priest, and Moses, the king. And then the second born gives Korah, yes?
Yep.
Right. And then the third born, Hebron. And the fourth born, maybe, that's going to come into play here shortly, Uzziah. So, what is Korah jealous of? He's jealous of his first cousin, Aaron, because he is the high priest. But he's also jealous of Moses, his first cousin, who is the leader of Israel. He wants to be the leader of Israel. He wants to lead the congregation. He wants to be the leader. That's what.
Yeah.
He wants to lead all of Israel. In fact, and by the way, there's a story, and I can't remember which rabbi told it. I don't believe this is true, because I don't believe in reincarnation. But he said, this rabbi says, that he was reincarnated from all these different incarnations of Jews in the history of Israel. And that back during the time of Korach's rebellion, he was there. And he said he was so powerful. Korach was so anointed. He knew the Torah, he knew Judaism, he knew all of the pictures backwards and forwards. He was bold, he was a billionaire, and this guy was impossible to repeat. And he said he was there, and he kept his mouth shut. He didn't go along. He said, but it was really, really hard not to go along with this rebellion. Almost impossible. Now, I don't believe that because I don't believe in reincarnation. But I do believe that it is the truth. I believe that Korach was an anointed, righteous man. And he lost his mind. Give me another example from the Bible of somebody who was an anointed, righteous man who lost his mind and ended up committing suicide and being killed by somebody else. Saul, like King Saul. King Saul was an anointed, righteous. David said, I'm not going to touch this guy. He's an anointed, he is God's anointed, and he's a righteous man. And he lost his mind. and he ended that. So, whether it's true or not, this guy was a big deal. And he's the son of Ishar, who was a righteous man, son of Kahat, who was a righteous man, son of Levi, who was a righteous man. This guy's got it all. And yet he wants what Aaron and Moses had. Why is it not moving forward? All right, so why was he judged? This is what Rashi said. And what induced Korach to quarrel with Moshe? He was envious of the princely dignity held by Elzaphan. What? What? I thought he was jealous of Moses and Aaron. But Rashi knows the Bible a billion times better than we do. And what induced Korach to quarrel with? He was jealous of the princely dignity held by Elzaphan, son of Uzziah. Now this is found in the Midrash Tanchuma, Korach, chapter 1. Which means Rabbi smarter than Rashi wrote it in the Midrash Tanchuma. When Moses had appointed prince over the sons of Kahat, although this was by the express command of God. I read this and I said, hey, what are you talking about? So I typed in Elzaphan in the concordance and found nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing that gave me the information I needed. So I looked all over Judaism and went to Sephora. The website? Sefaria. I went to Sefaria, came up just like that. It said the number is 330. So I looked at number 330 and there it was. And the leader of the father's house of the Kahati families, the families of the priesthood, Elzaphan, son of Uzziel.
Yep.
That's the baby. That's not the firstborn kid, or the secondborn kid, or the thirdborn kid. It's the fourthborn kid. Elzaphan, son of Uzziel. Now there do these: the ark, the table, the menorah, the altar, the vessel, the sanctuary, the curtain, and all the service concerning them. I'm like, God, these guys know the Bible so well. I didn't know that. And we just read it, what, 3 weeks ago? And I missed it. So, we're going to look at the genealogy again, but before we do, the 10 commandments, and the 10 words, the very last one says, Lo tachmo. Lo tachmo. It means no jealousy, or no coveting. Now, I say jealousy because you can understand the word. Coveting, it's kind of hard to know what that means. It just means jealousy. So it says, no. So I did this righteous man covet. What did he covet? He coveted that it skipped him and went to Elzaphan, the leadership of the priesthood. Why didn't he get it? Why didn't Kahat get it? Korach get it?
Right.
Elzaphan, look at the genealogy. Amram, Ishar, Hebron, Uzziah. Those are the 4 priestly families. Ishar, the second born, it should have gone to him, because Aaron and Moses already got their deal. So who should have been all the priestly families? The next in line. Korach. But it didn't skip there. And it skipped the son of Ishar, the son of Hebron, and went to the son of Uzziah, through Elzaphan. Now Rashi says Moses did that by the mouth of God. Why do you think God said to do that? 3 Torah portions ago. Because he knew what was going to happen. And he looked down and he saw Korach. He saw Korach there and saw his heart, and he said, I can't put him over. He's a arrogant billionaire know-it-all. And so it skipped in and went to Elzaphan. This was the whole part. Now, there are two skips here. There's a skip, it skipped over Korach and went to Elzaphan. What about Reuben? Datan and Abiram, the sons of Reuben. Who's Reuben? The firstborn. Right? So it should have gone, this blessing, this great blessing, should have gone to Reuben. But it didn't. Skip all the way to Joseph, the baby. All the way down to Joseph. Many years later, it skipped all the kids of Israel and went all the way down to Joseph, blessing. And went through Ephraim and Manasseh, the sons of Joseph. And they're called the Bikurim. We went over this a few weeks ago. So there's two firstborns that are ticked off. Korach and Datan and Abiram.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about humility. The verse says, for all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is in their midst. We know this because of Exodus 19. He said, you shall be a white kadosh, a holy nation, and you will be a kingdom of priests. Vatem tichu li. I can't remember. Vatem tichu li. No, you should say it. You will be to me a kingdom of priests. Right? God said that. Why? He changed things. People talk about it. All the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is in their midst. So why do you exalt yourself above the assembly of the Lord? This is Korach talking. Why do you, Moses, exalt yourself? Exalt yourself? It says in Hebrew, in Numbers 12, it says, V'ha'ish Moshe ano na'od, mikol ha'adam asher al pnei ha'adam. And Moses was humbled very humble, more than any man on the face of the earth. Really? I have a really hard time believing it. He's more humble than anybody on the planet. That's why he was the leader. And Korach said, so why do you exalt yourself above the assembly of the Lord? When Moshe heard it, what does he do? He falls on his face and prays for that idiot Korach. And I don't know if he prayed for God or not. He probably did. He was such a righteous man. But he prayed for Korach. He prayed, God, you died for some sins. We'll do something. This is Israel, your beloved. Please don't destroy them. That's his response. Now, people who are familiar with the New Testament just say something real simple. They're the other team.
What?
And they just walk away like they need something. They're the other team.
Right.
They just say trope, a trite phrase, a bumper sticker, a meme. Turn the other cheek. This is turning the other cheek. They're out to murder him. And he falls on his face and prays for Israel. He was the most humble man on the planet. So I'm going to challenge you. Who do you think was more humble, Yeshua or Moshe? You need to think about it.
At the time, he wasn't
I
on the
mean, just
planet.
immediately everybody's knee-jerk reaction is, well, sure.
So Moshe could have been the most humble. Wow.
It says in Deuteronomy 18:18, 15 through 18, I will raise up a prophet like you, Moshe, like you, Moshe, and give him to Israel. And if they don't listen to him, I will judge Israel. Like you, Moshe, from among your brothers. I think they were exactly and perfectly the same. I do not think Yeshua was born under Moshe out. I believe that Moshe was a perfect picture of Yeshua. And the more I read the Torah, the more I believe it. Because the more I see, that's as high as the sky and I can't get there. I've been chasing humility for 35 years since the day I put that stupid ring on Eileen's finger. And the second I did that, all of a sudden God said, okay. And I've been chasing humility since that day, and I can't find it. And just in the last 3 years, I feel like just kind of, like get my head above the water so I can see straight. I mean, Moshe is a million miles up there. And so is Yeshua. I can't get there. But I'm just starting to get an inkling of what this word that we're going to look at means. Some of you, you have some measure of humility. And I don't know how you're around it. I don't understand why you have around it. I mean, like, when we had our first congregation, I was such an arrogant person. The whole time we had that congregation, 13 and a half years, I was filled to the brim with arrogance. And there was nothing I could do about it. Nothing I could do about it. I felt like my hands were tied behind my back 24/7. And people would tell me, God, you're arrogant. And, nobody would tell me, do this so that you're not arrogant. Or they'd give me advice, and I go, I don't know what that means. I don't even know what that lingo means. I don't know the vocabulary. I don't know the concept. You're speaking a foreign language to me. And so God smashed me. And all of a sudden, 5 years ago, I started figuring out how to start knowing what humility is. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't. I heard all the bumper stickers. I didn't know what humility was. I just didn't. Nobody taught me. And I'm not blaming anybody else. Please don't compare. Nobody ever taught me. This is what arrogance is. This is what humility is. This is how you go from point A to point B. Anyway. Most humble man on the planet. Now, the word for humility is two different ways to say it. It's usually anava. Anava. The noun for humility is anava. And you can see that one way to say it is ana. One form of the word, ana. It's actually ana. Ana. Like Paso, or Amor, or Yeshua. Ana. And it means, now look at this, number one meaning, to sing, to proclaim loudly. Isn't that weird? To answer, to begin to speak, to declare. Strange. But number two meaning is just the opposite. To be afflicted, oppressed, depressed, beat down, to submit oneself. That's not enough. And then, now, same word, means afflicted, beat down, meek. I hated that word meek. I hated it. We would read it only in the New Testament. We never see it in the Old Testament, ever. Reading the New Testament, and I hear believers go, and the meekness of the Lord. And I would just my hat would rise. I'd be like, that. Because of the homosexuality of Christ. long blonde hair, with his little beard, and he's so gentle. He would never put a flaw. He's so gentle and delicate. And so homosexuality is accepted in a great portion of the body of Messiah. Why? Because our God is a homosexual. What do you expect? And so, priests play with little boys. Big deal. What do you expect? The whole thing is a Hellenistic world in which homosexuality is a good thing. And so I would read, they can do this in the meekness of the Lord, and I would just hate it. The reason was, we were talking about what it was in Hebrew. I mean, meekness can only be done by somebody who's strong. It can only be done by somebody who knows his strength, his or her strength. Because the word for anava, it literally means the ability to withstand pressure. The ability to withstand like wheat blows and it comes back. It can withstand the wind that comes right back. And that's anava. That's humility. But what confused me, what kept me from wanting to pursue, quote, meekness, is that it wasn't translated as humility. It was translated as either gentleness, which I hated for the same reason, and gentility. And this is important. It gets in your head. And it can mess you up. It messed me up. And I believe me, it has messed up a lot of believers. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I'm saying this messes us up. It's bad. So humility and gentleness and meekness are the same word in Hebrew, which I didn't know. It's anava, the ability to bear pain. Who's stronger, men or women?
Physically, men.
Who are stronger, men or women? Who can bear more pain?
Women.
Women. Women are stronger because they can bear more pain. When you see a man give birth, their lungs and vitals die from pain.
Yeah, we would.
After halfway through, giving birth. Women bear more pain, so they are stronger. That's why they're gentler. They have more humility. Men, it's harder to be humble because we think we're strong. We hope to be strong. We want to be strong. And then, gentler and meek. Who wants that? There's a lot more that want that now. A lot more men that want that. But it's in Judaism, it's a whole different kind of thing. And it is the ability to bear pain. To be depressed, afflicted, deep down, to submit oneself. Eileen used to always say, you can't submit. And other people will come, you never submit. You can't submit. I didn't even know really what that meant. I didn't know what it meant, really. I would see other people and they'd be like, so happy to go along with what's being said. But what was being said was stupid. And I would look at it and I go, that's stupid. I don't want to submit to that. And then people would say, you don't know how to submit. I gotta submit to that. And so it was always this fight. Because I wasn't humble. I didn't know how. Now I'm learning how. Look at this. Oh, wait, I forgot to say this. This is from the bread. This picture of the bread of affliction. Remember, you hold up the matzah after you've broken it, and you say, Hulachma anya. This is, and you point to it. It sounds like, oh God, point to it. Hulachma anya. Who means he? He is the bread of affliction. It's a person. That's Yeshua. But it's also Moshe. He is the bread of affliction. And look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times it says about Yom Kippur the same thing. You shall afflict your souls. Guess what the word is in Hebrew? Anava, humble. You shall humble the soul on Yom Kippur. You shall humble your soul on Yom Kippur. You shall humble your soul on Yom Kippur. If you don't humble your soul on Yom Kippur, that person is keret, cut off. That means God cuts you off from heaven. The humble, you are to humble the soul on Yom Kippur. You are to humble the soul on Yom Kippur 6 times. And what's it talking about? What do we do to humble our soul on Yom Kippur?
Fast.
Yeah, fast. We don't eat. It's talking about food. Think about this. 1 time a year, God makes us like angels, right? You don't go to the bathroom because you haven't eaten anything. You don't eat because you didn't drink anything. You're like an angel. You just concentrate on God. You do the prayers. You're wearing white. You're not distracted by all the junk in our life. For 1 day, you're like an angel. But the only way to get there is to stop eating. And so, Israel did that all Israel for 40 years. And it didn't work. It says, Deuteronomy. Chapter 8, all 3 times. In chapter 8, for 40 years, I put you in the desert for 40 years at Kadesh to humble you. And then he makes it clear what he needed. You went hungry for 40 years to humble you. God gave manna to humble you. I only started getting humble when I was up on the roof, doing roofing for 6 months at the age of 55. That's when God started really breaking me. It had started before that, but that's when it really hit. Why? Because I was hungry. I lost 30 pounds. I went down to 190. Started at 222, I went down to 190. And I was hungry, and I was tired, and I was angry and upset with my life, and I hated it. I hated every minute of it. But it pushed me down, and every day got worse and worse and worse. And it was like, it was over, and I was like, I can breathe. And I looked at my wife and was like, you look different. Because I was looking through different eyes. And I looked at my wife and was like, it looks different. It's unfamiliar. And I looked at me and I was like, you look different. I don't even know what I think anymore. I'm different. I think different. I look different. I don't even know who I am anymore. Is God hungry? It sounds stupid, but it's because I was hungry. I was working hard and sweating all day. I didn't have time to complain. And then when I was done with it, I was like, oh, God, I'm so grateful. I got a job. I'm so grateful I get to eat. I'm so grateful I got some money so I can provide for my family. That's all that was left. I used to hate this verse. Because Christians would quote it, believers would quote it, and I was like, ugh, whatever. Turn the other cheek. Whoever humbles himself will be exalted, and whoever exalts himself will be humbled. You must walk through the door, do not go through the door. You must lay the table straight in order for it to be crooked. You know those cryptic phrases that one thing means something else. That's what it sounded like to me. You must look up in order to look down. It just sounded like a bumper sticker. Until I started figuring out on my own, really. And please don't get me wrong, I don't think I'm humble. I think I scratched the surface of figuring out how to become humble. In Hebrew, it does not say this in the Hebrew New Testament. It's a bad translation in the Hebrew New Testament. Because it doesn't use biblical words, it uses modern Hebrew, at least on this part. But in biblical Hebrew, you would say, Mi she'anav et atzmo. Who is the one who humbles himself, who makes himself anava? Et atzmo. Atzmo means yourself, but it means bones. Etze means bones. Who's the one who humbles his bones? That's literally what it is in Hebrew. Who's the one who humbles his bones will be exalted. And whoever pushes himself up, Romametha, you are exalted, you are up, pushed up, is humble, is made anava. This happens 20 times a day. Like, you get arrogant, say something arrogant, and immediately you put down. And you look at yourself and like, I'm so low. And immediately God looks at you. And then you're up and you're like, you're pretty good. And you say something stupid and God puts you down low. And then you go, oh God, you're an idiot. And you're down low and God lifts you up. That's right. Whatever is exalted will be brought down low, and whatever is low will be brought up. Happens over and over and over. And that's never. All right, now we're going to move on to the story to the end. The earth opened its mouth. We talked about this last year. And the Midrash says that God, Moshe says, get back away from your tents, from Reuben and Lev and Kohath's tents, Korach's tent, and the family. And the earth opened up, and even if a needle, a needle and a thread needle, even if a needle was in somebody else's tent, like gravity would just suck it to that hole. Anything that belonged to Korach and his congregation was sucked down into the earth because it belonged to him. So say you went and bought a cup of sugar from Mrs. Korach, and you had it in your house, that would go over to the hole and be sucked down into the castle. Everything that belonged to them, because that's what it said. It says, and everything that belonged to them was sucked down into the earth. Now the Lord spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the congregation, get back from the dwelling of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Then Moshe arose and went to Dathan and Abiram. He's still crying. Remember, Dathan and Abiram, we wouldn't go meet him. So he's like, okay, I'll go meet him. He's still trying. With the elders of Israel following him, he spoke to the congregation, saying, depart now. Now he's talking to the congregation. Well, it says he went to Dathan and Abiram, but it doesn't say anything about it. Why did he go to Dathan and Abiram? To plead that they change their mind. Because he's humble, and they wouldn't. And so then he says, all right, I'm sorry, Israel, get back away from your tents. Depart now from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing that belongs to them. Because like if you're holding a needle and it belongs to them, it can be sucked out of your hand and hurt you. Don't touch anything that belongs to them. So they got back from around the dwellings of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, and the ground that was beneath them split open, and the earth opened its boca. That is a weird statement. It opened its mouth. How does the earth have a mouth?
Volcano.
All you have to do is say, well, it's an idiom. It's, poetry. No, it's not. It's a picture. The earth has a mouth. Not only does the earth drink and eat, it speaks. The earth opened its mouth. The Hebrew says, "V'tiftach ha'aretz et peah." The earth opened its mouth. Yes.
How perfect is the earth opened its mouth because they have been opening their mouth.
Yes, exactly.
Appropriate.
Dathan and Abiram and Korach and all the 250 idiots that led, they were opening their mouth. And Moshe and Aharon, and so the earth opened its mouth and sucked them in. Swallowed them up in their houses, and all the men that belonged to Korah belonged to Korah. The men that belonged to Korah? How many men belong to Korah? Vakach Korah.
He took them.
He took them. Remember, that's the very first verse. Vakach Korah, and took Korah. These men. He owned them. He owned them. Listen, I'm not saying anything against the law. I don't speak against leaders. I'm doing that less and less. I want to talk about this. But when Barack Obama would open his mouth, he had a golden tongue.
He did.
And he fought people. He took them. He took their hearts from his words. There's other people, I'm not saying he's evil. I'm just saying he was a great orator.
He was skilled.
There's other people who were great orators and they were evil, like Hitler,
Yeah,
Mussolini, all those guys. And they took men. And so did Korah. He owned them.
Good parts.
And all their possessions and stuff. Then the Lord said to Cain, now we're going to talk about the earth opening its mouth. What does this mean? Why does it say the earth opened its mouth and sucked everybody in? Why? Because it started with Cain. Cain. Remember in Jude chapter 11? Chapter 1.
Yeah, verse 11.
Verse 11. It says they've gone headlong into the error, into the way of Cain, into the error of Balaam, into the rebellion of Korah. It was Cain. The way of Cain. What's the way of Cain? Saying a little bit of that guy. The Lord said to Cain, where is Hevel in the earth? Do you know what Hevel means? Abel?
Forgot.
I'll give you a hint. There's a book that says, Hevel, Kol Hamamim. Hevel, it says it over and over. Hevel, Kol Hamamim. Vanity. But it's not vanity, it's miss, always miss. That's what Hevel means. Where is Hevel your brother? And he said, I don't know. My brother's keeper. He's talking to God. I don't know.
Pretty
I
cocky.
take care of him, my little brother, I gotta take care of him. God, you're the only people on the planet. 7 people on the planet. There's no story. There's 5 girls and these 2 boys. No story. 5 girls, 2 boys, Adam and Eve. No,
That's 8.
3 girls, sorry. 3 girls, these 2 boys, and Adam and Eve. That's it.
That's 7.
That's it. That's all that's on the planet. And he's talking to God like that. Am I my brother's keeper? And then God said, what are you doing? What are you doing? The voice of your brother's blood. The voice of your brother's blood was crying out to me from the ground. Now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood. The earth drank Hevel's blood and then started talking. And the blood that's in the mouth of the earth is now saying, avenge me, avenge me. I'm going to prove it to you that those are the words. Avenge me. Now, Hevel was a saint, he was righteous. It's like all the prophets. In fact, he was a prophet. This is what Yeshua said in Luke. The wisdom of God said, I will send them prophets and apostles, and some of them he will kill, and some they will persecute, so that the blood of all the prophets shed since the foundation of the world may be charged against this generation. From the blood of Hevel, what does that make Hevel?
Prophet.
A prophet.
The first.
He was the first prophet. Who was the second prophet? Anybody know? Enoch. Second from Adam. From the blood of Hevel to the blood of Zechariah, who was killed between the altar and the temple during the time of Nehemiah. Right? He was a righteous Savior. His blood is crying out to be avenged. Now, Psalm 137, I quoted this. I think I gave the wrong chapter in the Psalm last week when I talked about how happy are the ones who grab their babies and bash them against the rock, against the wall. I think I said it was a different Psalm. It's this guy, Psalm 137. Remember, Lord, against the sons of Eve. Now, before we read this, here's a picture of the altar. Right? The stone altar in the temple. It's actually bigger than this, but I only have so much time. So, up on the top are 4 horns that are a cubit. A cubit is from here to here. That's a cubit, 18 inches. That's how big the horns are on the top of the cubes, like the New Jerusalem, like the Holy of Holies. That's the horns. And there's a ramp that goes up to it. And then down at the bottom, in red, or the red overlay, is the base. The base in Hebrew is Yesod. Yesod. All of the sacrifices had blood that was poured out or sprinkled, either one, poured out or sprinkled on the Yesod of the altar. All sacrifices. Okay? Say Yesod.
Yesod.
It means foundation.
Right.
Or base. Now, 137, Psalm 137 uses this word Yesod. It says, remember, Lord, against the sons of Edom. Okay, who destroyed the first temple? Who destroyed the temple? Not Greece. Who destroyed the first temple? And the Jews were kicked out into Babylon. Right, Babylon. Who destroyed the second temple in 70 AD?
Syria? No.
In 70 AD. Rome.
Yeah, Rome.
Edom. So Babylon and Rome destroyed the temples of God. Yes?
Yep.
Both of those events happened on the same day. Okay, look at this verse. This verse is about Babylon. This whole chapter is about Babylon. And it says Edom. And who's Edom?
Rome.
So good.
Oh.
You follow what I'm saying? This chapter tells both nations have been destroyed with him. Remember, Lord, against the sons of Rome, Edom, the day of Jerusalem, those who said, raise it. They not raise. Bring it down. Raise it to its very Yesod. Bring it down to the Yesod. Destroy everything on that Yesod. Daughter of Babylon. Now it says Babylon.
Right.
I thought it said Edom. Now it says Babylon.
One and the
Is that
same.
weird? You understand what I'm saying? This was written by David. Like 2,000 years, 1,500 years before the decline of the second temple's destruction. Right?
Yep.
800 years before the first temple was destroyed. And he says, even and now, we destroy the temple, say, bring it down to its very yesod. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Daughter of Babylon, devastated one, happy will be the one who repays you. Happy will be the one who grabs and dashes your babies against the rock. To meet Jesus would never do that.
Right.
No, gentle Christ would never do that. No. The world is going to, because he's the Messiah. And this is the God. So, in Psalm 137, what's the yesod? What's the yesod?
The base. The base, foundation.
Yeah, but what is it? Like, what is it in Psalm 137? They say, bad guys say, destroy the house of God all the way down to the yesod. So what's the yesod?
The ground.
Ground.
Not the ground. It's what it's founded on. It's its base.
Yeah.
Right? What's the base of the temple of God? What does the whole temple of God sit on? Judaism. That's what the whole temple of God is, right? That's what the temple and the sacrifices and the new moon and the Sabbath and the kosher laws and the festivals, right? It's all the whole house. Zion has a foundation. What's its foundation? Judaism. Right? Does that make sense? Now you're going to see something tricky. Proverbs 10:25 says this: when the whirlwind passes, that's a bad thing. The wicked is no more. They get thrown away. But the righteous person is a yesod olam, is an everlasting base, an everlasting foundation. What is that base?
Foundation.
Yeah, what is it in this verse? The problem, what is it? No, I'll read it again. When the whirlwind passes, blows the wicked away, but the righteous is a yesod olam. What is the yesod in that verse?
Righteous.
Right. People. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Did you follow that? The righteous people are the yesod olam, the everlasting foundation. Where is the blood spattered on every sacrifice? On the yesod. So there should be verses that say that base is the righteous people's voice calling out, why won't you avenge me?
Right, there is. You
Just like Hevel.
Yeah.
From Hevel all the way to Zechariah.
Yeah.
They're the base. They are the base. And they're the blood. Their blood is crying out. They're the sacrifices. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
What's yeah?
And there is. It's Revelation chapter 6. When the Lamb broke the fifth seal, what year of the birth pangs is it? In the verse that we just read. When the Lamb broke the fifth seal, what year of the birth pangs is it?
5,000?
No. Those kind of things.
How many seals are there?
There's 7.
7, okay.
Are there
When
one
the
a year?
Lamb broke the fifth seal, what year of the birth pangs is
The
it?
5th year?
Fifth year.
One a year?
6,005, right?
Yeah.
6,005.
One per year?
Yeah, one per year. I saw, now what it says in English is underneath the altar.
Right. The base. The foundation.
Underneath the yesod, on there. Not what it says. It's not underneath. What's underneath the altar in the Bible?
Right. The foundation.
No, not underneath the altar.
Oh, dirt.
Dirt, nothing. There's nothing underneath the altar. Rock, or dirt, or whatever.
Ground.
Better translation. It's not underneath.
The base.
It would say in Hebrew, yesod, it would say base. Yesod. Ha-yesod ha-mizbeach. Ayisod Hamidel, at the base of the altar. What's the base of the altar? The blood of the righteous that are crying out. Yes?
Yep.
So I saw at the base of the altar the soul. What? I've seen on the internet, I've seen paintings by Christians where it has all these little people
Yeah.
like this, and they're wearing white, and they're underneath this altar with horns that look like a bull's horn. And they're underneath it, trapped underneath the altar. Not what it's saying at all. It's saying at the base is the blood of all the righteous. And they're crying out, avenge us. And that's what it says.
Yep.
The souls of all those who have been killed because of the word of God and the testimony they have maintained. Who was the first soul blood crying out?
Heaven.
Heaven. Abel. Those who have been killed because of the word of God and the testimony they have maintained. And they cried out with a loud voice saying, how long, O Lord, will we refrain from judging and avenging our blood? What year of birth pains is it? Fifth. And they're still crying out. So, if I was God, I would tell them, you got how much more time?
2 more years.
2 more years. Decent. We're almost there. Just 2 more years. And that's basically what he said.
Okay.
How long, O Lord, avenging our blood and those who live on the earth? A white robe is given to them. And they were told, just rest for a little while longer, until their fellow servants and brothers who were killed, just as they had been, was completed. Filled up, finished. 2 more years of believers being murdered, because their blood has to be sprinkled on the soul of the altar. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed Korah and Dathan and Abiram and all over 250 idiots and all the people that followed them. Just like the earth opened up and took the blood in from all the righteous, even to this day. That's why the blood was poured or sprinkled on the soul of the altar. Every sacrifice is a Jew. Every sacrifice is a righteous person. A Jew or a righteous Gentile. Oh. Look at the golden word. I saw at the base of the altar what? Okay. It says in Leviticus chapter 17, it says, for the life of the soul is in the blood.
Yep.
The life of the soul is in the blood. And I've given it to you to make atonement on the altar. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
So, when it says, I saw the souls, what did he see?
The blood.
Blood. The blood on the face of the altar. Okay. I think we have made sense of what's going on there. Now, we're talking about things to avoid. I'm not going to even talk about rebellion. I'm not going to talk about it. Because there's so much more to think about in this. And they're hard to do. These are hard to do. But we have to try. We have to work at it. Remember last year, we had Torah portion after Torah portion after Torah portion in Demi Bar that had to do with Lashon Hara, evil speech. Open the mouth, evil comes out. And we still needed to work on it. I've been working on it, and I still need to work on it. Now, to make it very clear, I've broken these 4 things down into these little, sub-categories to make it clear. First one we're going to talk about is pride. We're going to talk about my pride. In Hebrew, it's Yehavah. Being big. Be exalted, be honored. I want honor. I want honor. Now, I want Tom Beal to spread through the whole earth. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because of me. But it hasn't happened for anybody else either. So I got to get my act together. I want to see Tom Beal spread. Back when we had Derek Obama, the first congregation, I wanted to spread my teaching, my understanding of Tom Beal, my this, my that. I thought I was just doing God a favor. I want to spread this because I just want to spread it. But that's not the truth. The truth is I want to spread me attached to it. Let's get a lot. So now I'm trying to work on not doing that. So these 3 things are how you put together. Number 1, you got to understand that it comes from, like, I need to be seen, I need to be accepted, I need to be big. Because it's a feeling of inferiority. It's like, when I see myself small, or nobody cares, just take off in the corner. And so I would fall into self-pity really easy. My whole family is like this. My whole family, this was our coat of arms, is self-pity. It tastes better than chocolate fruit. So, this comes from a feeling of inferiority to want to be bigger. Now watch that. Number 2, that breeds or creates a need for recognition. I have to be seen. When I'm in NIV, I remember saying this, and I was serious. I meant it. It is so embarrassing. I told her and I told everyone else, I'm probably the best artist in the world.
Wow.
And I meant it. I was totally serious. I mean, I'm probably the best artist in the world.
Wow.
God, the
chutzpah, right.
The gavah of pride. So, there was a need for you gotta see me, you gotta recognize. That's a problem. And then, pride will cause you to fight submission. This is not just in spiritual things. This is at work. This is politically. This is a problem. You gotta submit to everybody who's above you, whether they're good or bad, whether they're idiots or not, whether they're magnificent or horrible. You have to submit to them. Pride will keep you from doing it. All right, those are specific things. Now, the second one, Lashon Hara. This might be the worst evil.
You can skip that one.
Let's skip that one. This might be the worst evil on the planet.
Yeah, it is.
I don't usually give laws, victims, commands, even strong suggestions. I don't do that. You gotta work out your own stuff. But I'll say this. You need to stop doing Facebook. You don't have to get off Facebook. But you've got to stop doing what they do on Facebook, which is 100% the self-rock.
Pretty much.
100%. When you say your full opinion, it's not your opinion. You're always going to say something bad about what you don't believe what you believe. Always. 100% of the time. For those of you listening to this on tape, this is horrible. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. And I don't give, victim. I'll say that. It's bad. It's wrong. It's a waste of time. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean. The Hafetz Chaim, a rabbi from the 1800s, he wrote a book about the Shomorah. I don't ever want to read this book. Ever. Because I can't even get through the first page probably.
The prelude.
I mean, it's just too hard. You can't ever say anything about anyone for any reason. He makes it a little bit lighter than that, but that's about as strong as he gets. You can't ever say anything. Notice how he say against. You can't say anything about anyone for any reason. Not Biden. What? Not anybody. Now you can talk about facts, but you cannot say anything against anyone because you shame them or you bring them lower in somebody's sight, anybody's sight. You can't say anything bad against Fauci. You can't say anything bad against anyone. This is a big pill to swallow, isn't it? You all look like, yeah, shit.
Yeah.
This is tough.
Too late.
I don't usually say anything, but sometimes when we pray, there's the Shomorah in prayer.
That's true.
You gotta watch it. Because then God gets mad at you. And all you're doing is praying to God. You gotta guard that tongue all the time. Now, for me, the way you may not be like me, but for me, I didn't listen to Shomorah very much because I don't believe anybody. I think everybody's lying all the time anyway, so you may not be like that. But what my problem was going negative. I would immediately go negative. That person, and I'm done. As soon as I go there, I'm done. Nothing ever works out for me. I work so hard and I can never catch a break. Stuff like that. That's negative. I'm really working to never do that again. I'm working. It's hard. Really hard. Whatever your thing is, whatever that is, that's what you gotta work on. With the Shomorah. Mine's going negative. But everybody can go positive. To work on the Shomorah, you can go positive. You want to talk about Biden? Say something good about it. You want to talk about Fauci? Say something good about it. You want to talk about your boss at work or your coworker? Say something good about it. Sounds stupid, but this is the Shomorah. This is how you fight it. And don't listen to the Shomorah. This is hard. Somebody comes and said, I was talking to Ruth the other day, and she said about me that we had juicy guys. It happens so quick. It's much more difficult because you put them in your tea off you when they lie. I don't want to hear that mess. I don't want to hear it. That's how Jews do it. How we do it. I don't want to hear it. So Shomorah. All right, number 3, jealousy. It's a lie. No pachmo. No coveting. See, we can say coveting because you don't know what that means. It means jealousy. Now, You gotta guard your eyes to get jealous of what other people have. You know, that person's got a perfect house, perfect wife, perfect husband, perfect family, perfect kids, perfect car, perfect this, perfect that. Well, then close your eyes and don't look. It sounds stupid, but it's true. Good looking. Gotta guard your eyes. Number two, you gotta work at being thankful for what you have. Even though I came down off that roof after 6 months of losing, sweating 30 pounds off, never having enough money for anything, because it was not well paying at all. I was so thankful. But how long did that thankfulness last? Well, that gas tank got filled up. I got my job with chocolate teaching art. I was so grateful to drive 30 miles there and 30 miles back home. I didn't care. And that lasted about 3 years. And for the last 2 years, I could feel it dropping. I could feel it like it's a long drive. And once in a while, not a lot, I could feel it. And I'd be like, how did you make it? Shouldn't I be making it? Stop it. I need to think about that. Once in a while, those thoughts will come to me. I'm not getting what I deserve. Once in a great while. I did pretty good. The 3 years is pretty good. For me, it might not be. It's fantastic for me. So I've been working at being thankful every day for what you got. Every day. And here's harder. This is harder. Try to be happy for what others have. Try. I mean, this takes work. I don't want them to have it. I want me to have it. Maybe my friends. Maybe you. Maybe I'll give it to you. But not them. All three of these that we looked at, pride, evil speech, and jealousy, they all can be made understandable from one thing. In Romans, it says that all authority comes from who? You believe that? You believe it comes from God? Then why would you complain about fighting? Just saying. Then all authority comes from God. So if you're fighting against that chain of command that God created and set in place, you are fighting God. That's how it works. If you don't like the chain of command, if your next door neighbor has something you don't have, you want it, God gave it to him. He didn't give it to you, he gave it to them. Don't fight the chain of command. Go with the chain of command. That's cool. Praise God. Thank God that God installed Biden as president. That's just the way it is. And just leave it there. Just leave it there. I know it goes against everything we believe. I know that. And I'm running a huge risk of saying this. Because you probably lose people who watch the video. But this is reality. If you want to do Judaism, you have to do it the way God set it up. You can't do it the way Christians have made it into, which is right wing, left wing, Democratic, Republican, bumper stickers, memes of baseball. This is going to be our life. What we work on every day. Try to be happy for what others have. This is all predicated on all authority comes from God. And if you need to say it to yourself a million times a day, say it to yourself a million times a day. Number 4, this is the last one. familial, or gang affiliation. Yeah, West Side. West Side. In this case, it's South Side. Reuben and Lev. South Side. But this is also politics. Campaigning. Come over to my side. Who's the greatest politician in the Bible? Korach. Greatest politician in the Bible. And there's one other. He's prophesied as the greatest politician. He will win people through money. Anybody know who it is? Who?
What's inside?
Yeah, what's his name?
The Antichrist.
No, what's his name? His name. Antiochus. Antiochus Epiphanes from Hanukkah. Second greatest politician, maybe the greatest politician in the Bible, along with Korah. So his familial, I don't even know what examples to use, but being linked with people because you know them is not good. It's outside. That's why they got together. Proximity. You gotta watch this. It says in the Torah many times, don't let it blind your eyes. It says in Proverbs, a gift given in secret will tie your soul to someone. That's what it says in Hebrew. It will tie your soul to them. And so Christians are trying to see you soul ties. Well, that's fine. It's by yourself. But then they turn it into all different kinds of things. It's real simple. Somebody gave you something and say, like it. You gotta watch it. This is political. I believe what you believe. So I'm going to be bound to you. I like your politics. I like the way you think. So I'm going to be tied to you. Jews, like I said, you get two Jews and you get three arguments.
Yeah.
Put two Jews together, you get three arguments, right?
Right.
Why? Because we think for ourselves. You're not going to tell me what to do. And then we go into the church and we put this on everybody else. Whatever you say, whatever you say, yes, I'm submitted unto the Christ. Yes. Well, that can be good and that can be bad. There's a good part of it, there's a bad part of it. Don't lose your individuality of your brain and your heart checking things for yourself. If somebody is tied to you because of proximity, how are you going to say, oh, you're full of it? You get away from me with that Lashon Hara. That's wrong. I don't want to hear that. It's hard to do it. But if you can think for yourself, you can be an individual and check things for yourself instead of believing bumper stickers and memes and Facebook. But check things for yourself, more than likely, this is not going to be a problem. This gay affiliation thing, I can't even do that. My fingers are messed up. Can't even do it. It probably won't be a problem because you're thinking for yourself. But if you're not thinking for yourself, you're going to go along with the mob. And if you don't think that you're going along with the mob, you think, I don't wear a mask because of COVID. You think you're not going along with the mob? You're going along with the mob that's doing the other side. Unless you check it for yourself, and you have what's settled in your heart, what you like, what you believe, what you feel like God wants to do. And that's it, that's fine. And that's fine, that's fantastic. I know this is a lot, and I'm not going to see it for 2 weeks. So that's why I'm laying it on now.
A lot to work on.
It's a lot to work on. You're absolutely right. This is your homework. Children, this is your homework.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Number 1, number 2, number 2, number 4. This is your homework. I'm going to be working on it too. Okay? So, we're going to pray the Aleinu, and then we are going to do the stand, please. Lord, thank you for your word, and thank you for your rule. Thank you, Lord, that you have not made us like the rest of the nations. You set us apart. And Lord, so we stand before you and we shall be together.
שלא שמענו כגר הרצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחה האדמה, שלא שמתם כלינו ככן, וגורלנו ככל המונה. Let us adore the Lord of all, who in greatness created the world from of old. He hath not made us like the nations of the earth, not made us like the families of the land. He has not made our destiny like theirs, or cast our lot with them. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. It is said, the Lord shall be king over all the earth. In that day the Lord shall be one, and his name is one. Kadosh Baruch Hu.
We bend the knee and bow in worship and give thanks to the King of Kings, the Holy One, blessed is He. We acknowledge before the King of Kings that there is none like Him, there is nothing but Him. As the Torah says, know that the Lord is God in the heavens above and on the earth beneath.
Ayin Lo. There is nothing else but God.